Jalen Hurts. He was the first quarterback from the 2020 draft to be given a new contract.
Hmm.
Pretty decent contract, I'd say. He's got an agent, Nicole Lynn. She was the first black agent to represent a quarterback in the Super Bowl, I believe. And now I believe that there was something else she just reset with this, but Agent Nicole Lynn was making some history with this contract. But $255 million, 5-year deal, $180 million guaranteed for a guy who just went to the Super Bowl, got second. And I believe when I can't remember who texted who first about the Jalen Hurts signing. I can't remember if you texted me or if I texted you.
I
But
think you texted me
okay,
about it because I heard about it, but then I don't remember. I think it was you. I'm pretty sure
I
it was you
just
because
I
the only
just
thing I
remember
texted about
seeing.
you this weekend was that one of the linebackers requested a trade down in Tampa.
Buda
Yeah,
Baker.
yeah, and you just didn't
But
respond to it. So I was just
well,
like, what?
I think I
I was like,
responded.
Buda Baker requested a trade, and you didn't respond. Well,
I meant
you
to
were away
respond.
that weekend. You
I
were in
meant to
Ohio.
respond.
You were
Oh,
in Columbus.
okay. Oh yeah. Anyway, um, so this trade happens. I texted you and I was like, cries in Joe Burrow
Yeah, I
because
remember that. Yeah.
Joe Burrow is going to, I assume, get more money. I have a new conspiracy.
Okay.
I have a new conspiracy about why the Bengals have not announced the Joe Burrow contract. And it is because the NFLPA hates it when their star players take pay cuts because it like lowers the ceiling on the market. I'm thinking, I'm got my gears turning here. Joe Burrow's going to take that pay cut, but first he wants to kind of lessen the attack the NFLPA has on him. So he's going to let Herbert and Hurts sign their contracts first. Then he's going to come out and be like, okay, I'm taking less than both those guys. I don't know what that's going to look like, but that's my conspiracy I got up in my head until I'm proven wrong. Um,
I
Otherwise, Joe Burrow's going to
go
make like
ahead.
300 million.
Go ahead, man. I'm not gonna say either way because I feel like no matter what, it's gonna stay in your head. So I mean,
Well,
even if I tell you yes or no,
because Joe Burrow's contract was being projected at 214 million 4 years. This is 255 million for 5 years for Hertz, which is roughly it's close to around the same thing.
close enough. Yeah.
There is not a universe in the world where Jalen Hurts makes more money than Joe Burrow. I can see Jalen Hurts making more money than Herbert because Herbert hasn't had a postseason success yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see Jalen Hurts getting paid more than Joe Burrow unless Joe Burrow takes a pay cut.
We'll see.
But 180 million guaranteed. Now, so we've got that. We've got Jalen Hurts, been to a Super Bowl, 180 million guaranteed.
What if Joe
Then like
Burrow sucks this year? What if he
we know
throws
that
10
won't happen.
touchdowns and 64 interceptions?
64 interceptions. That's
Yeah, like
like
what would happen?
if I think if Joe Burrow gets to the point where he's throwing that many interceptions, he won't even be in the game anymore.
Yeah, probably
Like
not.
that's what is let's do some math on that real quick.
64
64
interceptions?
divided by why 64 divided by 17 is 4 interceptions a game. They're not going to
Yeah.
let him. Yeah, that's insane. But my point was, Ian Rappaport came out and he said on Pat McAfee's show, the Ravens have made a move. They want Lamar. They're going to keep Lamar around, and they have allegedly offered him $200 million guaranteed to stay with the team.
Really?
200 million guaranteed, which is $20 million more than Jalen Hurts, who has been to the Super Bowl. And they just brought in Odell, who allegedly, I believe this was also reported by Rappaport. Lamar said, "Hey, Baltimore, if you guys bring in Odell and D Hop, we'll talk." And the Ravens were like, "Hey, Lamar, you want a ridiculous amount of money. No way we're getting both those guys. Pick one." And they ended up getting Odell. So Odell is a Raven on a huge contract, $15 million guaranteed. So now Lamar allegedly has this offer, 200 million guaranteed. I presume there's incentives with that.
Ah,
Would you give, if you are the Baltimore Ravens and you see that this guy who just went to the Super Bowl got 180 million guaranteed, are you still giving Lamar Jackson, who doesn't have a good postseason record, 200 million guaranteed?
no, I would not. I don't think he's. I don't think he's worth that much, to be honest. I mean, I think that, if like Baltimore had been in like the playoff picture and like the Super Bowl contending position for like the last 4 years with Lamar, yeah, maybe. I mean, these guys that are like up for contract this year, other than like Herbert, like Jalen Hurts, he lost the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow lost the Super Bowl. Like, I mean, it's sad. Like, yes, I know it sucks that they both lost, but like honestly, the fact that they made it there in their age range is pretty impressive, no matter what anybody says, or what kind of team they had around them. Like, you're a quarterback and you made it there, and that's sick. My thing is, like, with this, is that Lamar Jackson didn't start this past postseason game against the Bengals.
Right.
Did he start the game in 20? I don't even remember like how many games is he 0-1, 0-2? Has he? I know he's been hurt for like 4 postseason games. I swear. Like I just don't know.
He's 1-3 in the playoffs with a total of 4 total touchdowns and 7 turnovers.
See, like that's not good. Like,
and that's including his MVP season as well, I believe. Because I was in 2019. I remember they had benched Flacco or something, and
yeah,
he sucked in his playoff game, and the fans were like yelling to put Flacco back in. And one of the players, I think it was Marcus Peters, went over and was like, or Marlon Humphrey or someone went over and was like, "Hey, no, Lamar got us here. We're riding with Lamar no matter what." Which,
yeah.
respect to him, respect to that player. But yeah, he has a 1-3 postseason history. Burrow's been in the league 3 seasons now, really. He won his second. Went to the Super Bowl in his second season, and he managed to get he's gotten more playoff wins than Lamar already. He's 5-1 in the playoffs, not including the Super Bowl.
Yeah, only losing this past season?
Yeah, the 2 playoff games he's lost were the AFC Championship and the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Well, I'm okay with that as a fan.
That's impressive though. That's impressive. The fact that your team's making it that far 2 years in a row is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like compared to Baltimore, who's like, oh yeah, Lamar Jackson is the greatest thing since sliced bread, coming into the freaking postseason, losing in the first divisional round, or no, not even the divisional round, losing in the wild card round to some bummy team. It'll be like, oh yeah, Baltimore's at the top of the AFC North this year. Let's go, Baltimore. And then they'll be up against well, let's say they're in second place this year, so they'll have to play the 7th seed. I'm just gonna throw like just a hypothetical seventh place team this year. I don't know who's gonna be like terrible this year, but let's just say that let's just say that well, you got to throw a team at me.
Jaguars. Let's say Jaguars.
You think the Jaguars are gonna be 7th again? I wasn't gonna say that, but I think they're gonna win their division.
Well, they were
so I think they'll.
I guess that's true.
So let's say the Indianapolis Colts decide that they're going to be the 7th seed.
What the heck?
Okay, well, Josh didn't like that.
Indianapolis Colts? You think the Anthony Richardson Indianapolis Colts are going to... Don't put that hope in me. Don't.
Hey, I'm just throwing it out there. You wouldn't give me a team. You're like, Jacksonville. No, we got to think of...
And you said Indianapolis.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of a team that's bummy. That was the whole point.
They are bummy. They're not going to make the playoffs, though.
Yeah, exactly. They're bummy.
Oh my gosh, no!
Okay, give me a team that is bummy that is going to that could make potential playoffs. Baltimore is the typical bummy.
The Patriots, maybe.
Yeah, that's actually a good one. See that if one of those two, well, the Jets, that's
they're in the
50-50.
East.
So, but like
still,
still,
win that division.
Yeah, so yeah, there you go. Patriots. We'll say the Patriots. The bummy Patriots.
Not
there
the
you
Colts. Go. I love the Colts, but don't.
Well, the Jaguars are absolutely going to win that division this year. You can't tell me they're not going to win.
The Colts would be lucky to win 6 games.
Well, yeah, but like still, no, you never know what happens. Everyone told the Steelers that they were going to win 2 games, and we ended up almost making playoffs again. And everyone thought Jacksonville was out until they made playoffs and went to the divisional. Anyway,
What's your point?
my point is that Baltimore is going to go in, great season, second place, and they're going to go in to play the New England Patriots and lose because they stink. Once you figure out a way to shut down Lamar Jackson, that's over. I'm noticing that in NHL too. In Edmonton right now, I think game 2 is tonight. I actually don't. I would have to double check. I'm gonna double check myself because I don't want to like jump the gun here. Okay, so the one thing that I noticed,
No misinformation on my
no
podcast.
no misinformation, but one of the things that I noticed about Edmonton Oilers is that when the Edmonton Oilers with Connor McDavid, when you figure out a way to shut down Connor McDavid, it's very hard for the other players to just play. Like Leon Draisaitl is very good, and some of these other hockey players on that team are very good. But once they figure out a way to stop Connor McDavid, it's very hard for Edmonton to just rally back because Connor McDavid is the whole point of the team. He's very good. He's very talented. He can carry the team on his back. Lamar Jackson can do the same thing. He can throw the ball. He can run the ball. He can scramble. He can do all this garbage. But once you figure out a way to shut down Lamar, it's very hard to get going. Now, the difference between NHL and the NFL is that the NFL, when you figure out a way to shut down the quarterback, that is the whole piece of you, the whole piece of the offense. It's very hard to produce something unless you're playing on defense. Whereas in hockey, if you shut down the player, if you take that intermission to just figure out a way to like, get the second, third, fourth line guys involved, you could probably still win the game. I mean, they figured that out. The Kings won in overtime. The LA Kings won in overtime in game 1 against Edmonton. And then Edmonton ended up coming back in the game 2 yesterday and winning 4-2. So the series is tied. But in that first game, I feel like they were really like shutting down Connor McDavid a lot. Not a ton, because Connor McDavid did do well, but like when you slow down a player enough, and that is like the captain or somebody that's a big part of the team, it can be very, very bad for the team that relies heavy on them. So I think if once a team figure out, like New England, all Bill Belichick has to do is just be like, oh, Lamar Jackson likes to scramble, do this, and do this. And it's like, okay. Then he works his defense around it. And the next thing you know, the New England Patriots are going to the divisional round versus Kansas City, I guess, or because it would have to be Kansas City. I can't say the Bengals because in my hypothetical it was the Ravens in the top of the AFC North. So
here's the thing with Lamar. He's very athletic. He's a very good player. My concern isn't so much with how athletic he is or if he's a good player. I think he is a good player, but I think the reason he wants all of this guaranteed money is because there's injury potential there. Of course, understandable. Thing is the dude doesn't make it to the playoff games. He gets injured. He gets hurt. And the way that he plays is very open to that. I have said that from the beginning. He's a scrambler, like you mentioned. He runs. He can pass the ball. I'm not saying he's a running back. I'm not in that camp. But he is a very mobile guy. And something I saw this morning, Josh Allen said, I'm a football player first, I'm a quarterback second in my mind. And he was talking about his athleticism, how he uses his bull rush to like just kind of barrel guys over. Same draft class as Lamar. Remember that.
mm-hmm.
This guy is saying he needs to stop doing that. And Josh Allen is a tank. He's bigger than Lamar. He's less prone to injury than Lamar. If Josh Allen is saying he needs to do that to prevent injury and make his career longer, then obviously Lamar needs to do that as well. And I think Lamar knows that, but for whatever reason, he hasn't been able to do that with the way the game plan is or who they've got around him. But 200 million guaranteed isn't going to help you build a team around you that you can like not be mobile for. Do you want a long career with no playoff wins, or do you want do you want a short career with no playoff wins, or a long career with some playoff wins? And everyone,
I think Baltimore really should just let the dude walk, man. Like, I mean, I know Baltimore was going to be unfortunate, like an unfortunate team for the next couple of years, but like, why deal with this now? Because it's just going to be the same mediocrity in Baltimore for the next couple of years that they've been facing over the last 4 years. Like, and I
Mhm.
hate to be like that because it's very pessimistic, but like, you can't expect a dude in his prime to only get 1-4 to improve from here. Like, it's very hard for me to really thoroughly believe that Lamar Jackson is going to improve his record from 1-4 to 6-4 and three Super Bowls or something ridiculous. And well, it wouldn't be 6-4, but like, you get what I'm saying. Like, it's just, it's really hard for me to believe that. And I think I would have taken my chances just letting Lamar Jackson walk and then going from there and just trying to figure out your next quarterback move, because then you could get a wide receiver, you could get young guys. Just it sucks to tank and it sucks to be bad, but sometimes you have to do it in order to rebuild. And I think Baltimore should have done that because now they're in a sticky situation with the 200 million guaranteed. If Lamar Jackson gets hurt, if Lamar Jackson starts sucking air because he realizes he can't throw the ball because he's just so used to running all the time, I'm just messing around. But point being is, I don't think it's a good move.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, worst case scenario, you've got like Carson Wentz is still out there. If you're
Yeah,
looking for a
I
bridge
mean,
quarterback, I mean, you're not going to be without a quarterback in Baltimore. I mean, in Baltimore fans are going to be livid if they let Lamar go, but I cannot. I feel like we're talking in circles now, but like, yeah, you can't justify paying him that much because ultimately the purpose of the game is to win Super Bowls. Everyone goes back to his regular. They're like, he was the MVP in 2019 unanimously. Like, he's a future Hall of Famer. Is he? Is he a future Hall of Famer? Because
he really
he
doesn't have a
hasn't.
whole lot to show for it other than